Rob Ashford, the director, and Paris Fitzpatrick, the lead dancer for Quadrophenia, which is actually right next door to us at City Center. It's very, very exciting. And when is it kicking off? When are we going to see you on the stage?
We open tomorrow night, Friday evening.
So exciting.
Yeah, so soon.
All right. So how does this happen? Do you call up Pete Townsend? Who has his phone number in their phone and go, hey, we've got an idea. We want to do a ballet.
Well, no. It's kind of the other. He called us.
He did?
Well, not he personally.
Okay, yes.
I mean, he's got people for that.
Yes.
But the idea of was really born from our choreographer, Paul Roberts. And he thought that, originally Pete thought that this orchestral version of the music would be perfect for a ballet.
Right.
He is a real fan of dance and of ballet. And so he thought it should be. Then they got Paul Roberts on board, and he did some workshops. And I think, Paris, you did most of those workshops.
I did, yeah. I was there from the very
He's been
first.
there from the very beginning.
So
Jimmy.
So how you're Jimmy in the show? How do you get involved in this? Like, do they just call you? Did you have a lot of auditions?
Right place, right time, I guess. The stars kind of aligned. Yeah, I just happened to be within this group of dancers that they used for the first ever workshops. And I guess they just felt like I was the right fit. And yeah, I was part of the furniture from the get-go. So, yeah.
And we couldn't do it without him, to be honest.
Awesome. So now Pete's sitting there, Paris. He's watching you. Are you a nervous wreck thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening?
I think maybe the first time I was a little bit like that, but honestly, he's such a personable and warm guy, and he's so appreciative of what we do in the space. And yeah, I feel like the way that I would feel watching him play guitar, he feels when he sees us dancing, which is like really special. And yeah, I feel very seen and valued, so I don't get so nervous. Yeah.
So how do you take this music, this rock opera, and put it to life on the stage in a ballet?
Well, Rachel Fuller did an orchestral version of the score first that they used. They did it at Royal Albert Hall. They did a tour of the UK and then came to New York too for a few performances. And that was with singers and lyrics. And but it was the London Philharmonic playing, so not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
and that is a beautiful, and they recorded it, of course, and that's just a beautiful recording that we use to create the ballet. So that's how you start.
Yeah.
That's how you start with the music. Yeah.
So, of course, there'll be fans that are loving Pete Townsend, but they may say, oof, a ballet? How do you convince those people to go and see this?
I'll tell you what, that was one of our biggest surprises. You know, we did it in London for 3 weeks at Sadler's Wells. We did it in Manchester. We did it in Plymouth and a couple of other stops before we went into London. And we had a lot of Who fans, T-shirts, the whole bit, just like they were going to a concert. And they were the first ones on their feet.
Wow.
Weirdly.
Yeah, I can second that.
Really?
I remember, yeah, the first show we did, I bumped into some audience members after the performance by the stage door, and they were, there in the full mod gear, like Who T-shirts, and they were like, I've never been to a ballet before, mate, but that was amazing.
That is amazing.
They were completely converted to dance, and yeah, that's kind of like a huge win.
I love that. I feel like that happened. I saw the Joffrey Ballet, and they did Prince, all Prince music, and I was like, how is this going to be possible? And I was blown away. What you guys do, just the beauty of it is incredible.
I think nowadays the mixing of the different disciplines is thrilling.
Yeah.
So I think people really like it.
Yeah.
They like to know part of it and be surprised by part of it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? I mean, obviously this is ballet, but do you have a particular dance that you love more than anything? A style?
I guess contemporary dance, which a lot comes under that umbrella. But
that's what this is. Not ballet like City Ballet or
right.
ABC.
It's not like point.
No, this is contemporary
dance, but it's narrative driven, so it's storytelling through movement, and that's kind of my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I've done for a long time, and I feel like that's my kind of niche.
Well, he's very modest, but he's a very, very good actor.
He's
an extremely good actor through the dance and in any of the scenes. So that kind of inspired us to push that element of it throughout the entire production.
I love it.
So because when people say what is it exactly, I say, well, it's a a dance theater piece.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of friends of mine that saw it in London who are theater goers and not really dance lovers
Yeah.
particularly, loved it because the narrative was strong, well acted by Paris and the rest of the cast, so that they could really follow it and then explore it in such a different way. When you can't use the words, you really have to dig deep
Yeah.
to understand.
Could this become a movie, this version of it?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the original movie is very gritty, very raw, and it paints a very clear picture. And obviously this version is a little more poetic. There's a little more that's open to the imagination. But I think for Pete himself, he really feels like this is the strongest sort of form of medium to use to tell this story.
But I do think it could be a film. I really do think it could be quite a good film,
Yeah.
a moving film, and a beautiful film.
And if it's City Center, we know it only stays around, a couple weeks. Do you think that it could go other places? Could this be Broadway bound?
Well,
I love Paris's face.
He's the expert.
well, I do. Yes, I do. I think it could be. I think
Okay.
it could be. I do think that Broadway, the community, certainly embrace narrative dance.
Yes.
I mean, Twyla Tharp's moving out.
Okay.
You can't do better than that. That
That's
was
true.
amazing.
Yep.
That was an amazing thing. And I remember going like, what is this going to be? What is this going to be? And being totally blown away by it as a choreographer and as a dancer and a director. So I was like, absolutely. We just had Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
We just had Illinois on Broadway. Started out in a similar kind of fashion. So I think Broadway audiences like the dance.
Yeah.
And are open to it.
I love
If it's good story.
Yes.
And this is a great story, from the liner notes in Pete's original album all the way to Rachel's book that we used as our template for this production.
Paris, do you have a favorite moment in the show?
I have a few favorite moments in the show. One of them, there's a war scene where it's kind of a flashback to Jimmy's father's time spent fighting in World War II. And there's a really beautiful, poignant, kind of, you could hear a pin drop moment between the dad and his kind of best friend who he was fighting alongside. It's just like, it really like gets you in the heart, in the feels.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
And all done to silence.
yeah.
No music for that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I guess the sort of finale, the combinations of the show I really enjoy, because it's the first moment that you see Jimmy really kind of processing and stripped away from all of the noise and the people. He's constantly sort of being manipulated by situations or people throughout the entire show, and it's the first time that you really see him sort of bare. And there's a lot in that. It's a very
Just
pregnant
hearing you
moment.
describe it, it sounds like a raw moment,
I mean, I can brag about him. He can't brag about himself. But
He can, but he won't.
But also, there's a certain thing too about, noting an actor. Because I've worked with a lot of actors. I've worked with a lot of great actors. So, but I note Paris in his acting in the piece the same way I would note Ken Branagh or Scarlett Johansson or Rachel Weisz or Ruth Wilson or any of those great actors. It can be brief. It doesn't need to be long, and you certainly don't have to demonstrate anything. Just to say, this is what this is giving us, and I wonder if you want to move a little further to the other direction, or, basically just to be a mirror to let them know that this is what we're thinking. And so he's a truly fine actor, I have to say.
It's very kind.
I mean, him putting you in these categories, how's that feel?
Crazy. I mean, yeah, I could never sort of do that for myself. But thanks, Rob.
If someone is watching this and they're like, okay, I don't know what Quadrophenia is. I know Pete Townsend, but what's the story? What's the story about?
It's about youth. It's about rebellion. It's about identity. It's about finding oneself.
And finding one's tribe.
Yes, definitely about finding your group and finding meaning. Maybe looking for meaning in the wrong place and what that does to people. And it's also just a beautiful celebration of this really interesting, nuanced moment in British history. This subculture or subcultural clash between mods and rockers that was all a very particular style of fashion, style of music. It's just really cool.
What was interesting in researching that, the mods and the rockers, because it's certainly something we in America don't know about. We know about the Jets and the Sharks.
Exactly.
And we know the Montagues and Capulets.
That's
but
right.
We don't particularly know the mods and the rockers. But it was the young people, both groups rebelling their parents' life. Both groups rebelling the kind of, I don't know if you'd say, like settling idea of having especially after World War II, of just, let's just do nothing but we'll work, we'll go to the pub, we'll come home.
Wow.
Well, we'll have tea, we'll go to bed.
Yeah.
And being somewhat satisfied in that. And the young people weren't. And the young people listened to American jazz, well, the mods anyway, listened to American jazz. And they dressed in Italian suits, and they drove Vespas. They wanted, that was important to them in the style. And even a lot of the choreography that happens inside the club and things is all very much true to the period, but it's all very tight and small because they didn't want to mess up their suits. Wow. They didn't want their ties to come out. They didn't want to. So that's all a part of the history, which I find very fascinating, that these groups came from aspiration.
Yeah. So when you were putting this all together, obviously the costumes play a big part. You must have been very made sure all the details were there from those days.
Well, sure. Well, Paul Smith, the designer, did our costumes for us.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
So he certainly knows that time and that period.
Just a thing or two.
So that was very helpful to have someone who really understood that.
Amazing. So anything else before we wrap that you want to say about the show?
Just that it's really great. And it's such a unique piece of theatre, but in its uniqueness, still very accessible. And I don't think you need to know about dance or about the music, the band, or the era to enjoy it. I think it carries its own weight.
And sometimes it's nice to come and see something that maybe you know nothing about. You might learn something. You might enjoy something that's out of your comfort zone,
Yeah, exactly. And that's important, actually.
Of course, especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays. So even if you can latch onto one thing, even if you say, I really like that album, or I just really like The Who.
Yeah.
And so why not give it a go, even though you don't know exactly what it is? And there's a group of young people and incredible dancers that all are trained in a different manner than we're trained here, that have a different way of moving. And our amazing choreographer, Paul Roberts, he also from across the pond, he brought it all together. So it's actually kind of thrilling in that respect too, if you're a dance lover.
Well, come and see it. It's Quadrophenia. It's going on right now. City Center, right next door. It's here for a limited time, so make sure you check it out.